It's a windy day at the lake today, and a little bit cool, and a little bit of noise too, because everyone wants to get their last bit of fun in before school tomorrow. So I'm working on part 2 of how to make a fringe on a linen stitch scarf, and we're working on right sides only. I'm using two different colorways of yarn, so I'm striping it, 2 rows each. And if you watch part 1, you'll see where I was, and we're just going to keep going. So I'm at the end of my row. I've got 450 stitches on this long circular needle, 4mm needle, and I'm just going to finish off the end of the row so you can see where I am. I've just finished with a knit one. Let me move this out of the way. Yarn forward, slip one purlwise, yarn back, knit one, yarn forward, slip one purlwise, yarn back, knit one, yarn forward, slip one purlwise, yarn back, knit one, yarn forward, slip one purlwise, yarn back, knit one. Happen to end on a knit one. On my next row I'll end on a slip one because I'm alternating the right side row of linen stitch. So here I am at the end, and my fringe, I've decided, will be 8 inches long for now. I'm drawing out 8 inches, and I'm going to cut it. So here we are, 8 inches ish. I'm going to clip that. I'll show you later how I twist these strands into a twisted fringe, but that's for later. So let's look at this. We've got all these loose ends at the end of every row, and they're loose. They really are loose. Look at this orange stitch here. So you can snug it up, pull these stitches to kind of snug it up, but really you want to contain all this wildness. So what I do, I've got a bunch of strands here, is I'm just going to twist them a little bit, and then I'm going to clamp them. And I have this little clamp from Clover. It's actually a quilting notion for holding or binding together. So if you're a quilter, you might want to check that out. Any kind of clip will work, a bullnose clip, whatever you want. And I'm actually clipping that, and you see how it holds it, and then I can just let it go. It's not going to bother me for a while. When I get a lot of strands, when I get further up on my knitting, I can either add another clip, or I can just loosely do an overhand knot to keep them out of the way for now. When you're finished knitting your scarf, you're going to come back and deal with these and do your fringe, but you don't want to worry about that right now. So you could also do this loose fringe, keeps it out of your way. Either or. Okay, so I finished the end of the row. Now I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning of the row, because as I said, I'm working right sides only. And I'm sliding it this way just so you see what I'm doing. And here I am at the beginning of the row, right sides. You can see those horizontal bars. You see that I've clipped my stuff here. And now I'm going to pick up my yarn for my next stripe. I'm going to draw out, my 8 inches of yarn for my fringe. So I just match up my loose yarn with the ends that I'm working on. And then I'll just pull them back, and I'll clamp that new yarn. So I'm just going to open that up and clamp it in. There, good to go. And then find my other end of the needle, and here we go. So I did a slip one on this last stitch, so now I'm going to knit this stitch. I'm alternating what I did the row before, and when you see the how to do linen stitch video, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So this stitch I'm going to knit, and you see I'm just going to pick up this yarn, and away we go. Knit, yarn forward, slip one as if to purl, yarn back, knit one, yarn forward, slip one as if to purl, yarn back, knit one, yarn forward, slip one as if to purl, knit one, and I'm just going to keep going all the way to the end, and then clip this yarn again and rejoin what I want. So again, if you look here, you're seeing some loose stuff here. Don't get too fussed about it. The clamp's going to hold it in place, and we will deal with that later in part 3 when your scarf is knit, and I'll show you how to twist these strands of yarn into a really nice twisted fringe. It's not braided. You could do that too, or you could even just tie them off into a knot and leave them loose. But I'm going to do a nice twisted fringe, and I think it looks really pretty with all these beautiful little autumn colors. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again in part 3.